City at the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai.
Hi, I'm Vince. I'm a research associate here. Welcome to the Icahn School of Medicine, and let's go ahead on it.
Hello, my name is Dana Salko. Thank you for having us at your lab today.
Great to meet you. I'm Dr. Georgia Panagiottakos. I lead a laboratory team that works on studying the embryonic brain, and I'm really excited for you to meet some of my team members today and get to look at your first brain under the microscope. Hello. So this is actually the entryway to our lab, and what you'll notice is a lot of differently shaped little pieces of paper here. Each of them actually represents a different type of cell in the brain, starting from the stem cell here in purple. So it's actually sort of like the end point of everything you've been studying so far, because this stem cell actually makes most of these other cells in the brain. So anytime someone new joins the lab, they actually each get to pick a cell type, and as you'll notice, they're just as diverse as all of us are, so it actually works out pretty nice.
And since you wanted to go into medicine, how does your work in the lab relate to real
This is a great question. So we study the early embryonic brain, and what we know is that there's a lot of disorders that are caused by mutations in genes that act in the embryonic brain and influence how stem cells make neurons in the embryonic brain. So the hope is that by studying those early events in the normal context, we could actually understand what happens when genetic mutations occur in the DNA and ultimately the proteins that are inside these cells to cause disease, and maybe we could find potential therapies using this work.
And we are now about to enter the very cool microscopy room. So here we go. And this is spiked doors because so this is our microscope. Someone's using it before, but it's all right. And this is what probably a little more advanced than some other microscopes you've seen. Mostly because this can do a lot of different fluorescent colors. And yeah, just kind of orient you to the microscope. So we have a couple power supply boxes here, eyepiece of course, and then our microscope is of course really nice, so it can also switch between looking at the eyepiece here. So this is where your microscope slots will go, and then at some point we can take like a digital image when we switch it over to the camera that will get projected on the computer, and then we can take all the images that we need, and we can look at the cells at much greater detail. So this is what we would call a fluorescent microscope.
What does that mean? What is the fluorescent microscope?
Oh yeah, so when we image cells under a scope, we need a way to distinguish between the different cells that are on a piece of tissue. In order for us to do that, we actually have to put these tissues through a series of stains, and we use antibodies to attach different colors to these cells. And this scope basically has the capacity to visualize the different cells by way of color.
Hi, I'm Samuele Marro. I'm here again to continue the lessons. We started with the DNA, now we're moving on to cells. In this lesson, we'll talk about different type of cells. I think it's important to start here and remember how every single one of us gets built. So we start as a single cell, and that starts dividing and becomes a group of cells, and we call this an embryo, right? So the human embryo is not an individual, it's not a body yet. It's a group of cells that are all the same, right? And you can see this on the left. These cells, they look the same because they are the same, but they have the potential to duplicate, as we learn in the other lesson, to duplicate their DNA and to specialize to the level that they will create different organs and they get to build the entire human body. So yeah, this is a simplification, but it's to make you understand that the final type of cells that compose your body are highly specialized and very diverse, right? Because you can imagine a neuron it will be born with you and will stay with you your whole life. We cannot make new neurons, at least we humans. Other animals can. So when you are 90 years old, you still have the neurons that you had when you were a kid. Same neuron. The blood cells, on the other hand, they are born, and less than a month, they're died. They're gone. So their life is very short. They are constantly produce, renew, because their job is highly stressful. They bring oxygen around. Oxygen is toxic, right? So they cannot last too long. So this is to give you a sense, like different cells do really different things. They live different time, and so they need to be highly specialized.